Have you ever woken up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. and stared at the ceiling, not being able to fall back asleep? As a woman over 50, this isn't just a bothersome feeling. Your body is trying to tell you something important about your health, your feelings, or even your future. I'm going to tell you 5 important things you need to do to turn those sleepless nights into times of peace and clarity. Keep reading until the end, because number 4 is the one that most people miss. It could help you sleep better and be healthier. Please tell me if you like this video before we start. You can help me teach more people about getting old. You should subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos if you haven't already. Add comment number 1 if you like this video. If you don't, add comment number 0 to let me know so I can make you a better video. It's time to begin. First, don't try to sleep against your will. Instead, do this. Imagine that you wake up in the middle of the night with your eyes wide open. The harsh red or blue light of 3:17 a.m. stares back at you as you squint at the clock. Right away, the fear starts to set in. You've been here before, right? Like clockwork. The mental spiral begins. If I fall asleep right this second, I'll still get 3 hours. No, it's 2.5. Oh no, there's only 1 left. Your mind is racing and your heart is racing a little. The more you try to force yourself back to dreamland, the harder it is to fall asleep. Sense a pattern. You're not by yourself. It's more common than you might think to wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., and it doesn't always mean bad things are going to happen. However, the most important thing is that you should not worry about it or try to force yourself to sleep. We'll talk about why and what to do instead. It's like trying to herd cats while riding a unicycle to make someone sleep. You're losing the battle, which makes you even more angry. But when you lie there begging your brain to turn off, you're just adding fuel to the fire. You feel stressed, and the stress hormone cortisol comes along with it. It functions similarly to a natural alarm clock. It floods your body and tells it, "Nope, we're awake now, deal with it." The chemicals in your brain and nerves go into overdrive, and you feel more energized than when you first woke up. It's funny how the more you try to sleep, the less likely it is that you will get it. Let's change the perspective and make this midnight wake-up call less painful and maybe even useful. First stop, lying there in defeat. Rise up slowly. There's no need to wake up and go into full-on daytime mode. Your brain knows that you're not just sitting there miserable because of this small change in your posture. Pay attention to your breathing now. Slow down and focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for a moment, and then let it out through your mouth for 6 counts. Do this a few times. Why? It's a strategy for your brain and nerves. When you breathe deeply and rhythmically, your parasympathetic response starts. This is the rest and digest mode that counteracts cortisol's chaos of fight or flight. The tension in your shoulders will go away, and your heart rate will slow down. It's not magic. It's just biology at work. 2. Drink water, but do it smartly. You feel strange when you wake up at 3:47 a.m. It feels like you chewed on cotton balls all night because your mouth is so dry. It's possible that your legs are twitching and won't settle down, or that you're feeling strangely hot even though the room is cool. Sense a pattern? You might not have thought of dehydration as a possibility. It's sneaky. While you sleep, your body has been losing water through breath and sweat. Now it's sending you a not-so-subtle SOS. That dry, uneasy feeling is your body's way of asking for a drink. But let's talk strategy first before you trip and start drinking from the tap in the kitchen. It's not enough to just drink a lot of water in the middle of the night. You need to do it smartly too. It's possible to turn a rough wake-up into a smooth slide back to sleep if you do this right. Next, act like a detective. Take a look at yourself. What woke you up? After a year of not being used, is your pillow as flat as a pancake? Do the sheets look like they're wrapped around your legs like a boa? If someone forgot to close the window in March, is the room stuffy, too warm, or even freezing? These small aches and pains can wake you up so quickly that you might not even notice. Don't wait, fix them now. Make the bed, fluff the pillow, and adjust the thermostat. It's best to keep the temperature between 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 67 degrees Fahrenheit for sleep. You might want to get a glass of water. Being dehydrated is another sneaky cause. The point is to not just put up with it. Change things around you. Little changes can have a big impact. This is where things get interesting. The early morning hours of 3 to 5 a.m. are more than just a curse. People think of them as strange and magical. Have you heard of the hour of the wolf or the hour of the witch? Aside from myths, some of history's smartest people like Leonardo da Vinci and Nikola Tesla didn't just put up with these early starts, they welcomed them. Da Vinci was known for taking short naps all the time and saying that it helped him be very creative. Tesla is said to have slept as little as 2 hours a night and used the time to think of new ideas that would change the world. In any case, the hours before dawn, when everything is quiet and your mind is half awake and fuzzy, can be a wonderful time to get ideas. Keep a notebook and pen next to your bed. It's just something simple to write on. Write down any idea that's going through your mind. Whether it's a random thought, a question you've been thinking about, a story idea, or even a shopping list. You would be surprised how often those ramblings while you're sleepy turn into great ideas in the morning. If you don't like writing, try something easy to take your mind off of things. Do not take out your phone. Cortisol is set off by blue light, and TikTok rabbit holes are a trap. Instead, picture something peaceful, like waves lapping at the shore or a forest at dawn. To calm down, get out of bed for a minute, stretch your arms out over your head and roll your shoulders. The important thing is to stay away from the stress trap. Don't see being awake as a failure. See it as a chance to start over. When the time is right, sleep will come. It's not your job to pull the curtain back, it's mine. When you wake up at 3 a.m. the next time, don't freak out. Instead, take a deep breath, adjust, and explore. You never know what will happen during those quiet hours. They're not the enemy unless you make them so. If you're still watching this video and think these ideas are helpful, please let me know in the first comment below. Additionally, if you haven't already, please subscribe and activate the bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Let's move on. First things first, don't grab a glass of very cold water. It may be tempting, especially if you're hot and stressed, but drinking something straight from the fridge is like pouring a bucket of cold water on a cat that's already asleep. It wakes you up when you're trying to calm down. Your body changes gears, and all of a sudden, you feel more awake than you did 5 minutes ago. Choose water that is at room temperature or even a little warm instead. It's softer, more like how your body normally works, and it falls off without making a noise. Keep a small glass or bottle next to your bed. It should be nothing fancy, just enough to sip without making it a mission at midnight. Let's elevate the experience. Even though plain water is fine, your body needs more than just water. While you sleep, it has been quietly losing minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Have you ever woken up with a headache or the feeling of being wired but tired? That means you need more electrolytes, which are the tiny electrical charges that keep your nerves and muscles calm. Add a small amount of Celtic or Himalayan sea salt to your water. Do not use table salt that has been iodized. It's not a saltwater gargle. It's just a few grains. It's a small boost that gets things back in balance without putting too much stress on your kidneys. If you don't like salt, a splash of lemon juice will do the trick. Lemon isn't just for taste. It also helps digestion, which can slow down at night and gives you a little potassium. Take your time, let it settle, and then taste the difference. Are you feeling overwhelmed by stress? It's possible that your mind has decided that 4 a.m. is the best time to think about that awkward conversation from 3 days ago. A smart thing to do is to keep a thermos of chamomile tea close by. Make it before bed, but don't make it too strong. Just sit it next to your bed. You can actually get apigenin from chamomile. This is a chemical that binds to receptors in your brain and makes you feel less anxious and more calm. The warmth calms your throat, and the light floral taste takes your mind off of things that are going too fast. Before you know it, you're drifting instead of thinking too much. You won't have to go to the bathroom again in an hour because it hydrates you without filling up your bladder. Why does this matter? Dehydration not only makes your body feel bad, but it also changes the way you sleep. Your heart works harder, your body temperature gets out of whack, and your muscles get tense when your fluid levels drop. It's all soft enough to wake you up, but not so quiet that you might not know who's to blame. A smart change to your hydration level can change that. It's like adding more oil to your car during a long trip. You don't want to flood the engine, just keep it running smoothly. If you wake up thirsty or antsy, don't just chug water and hope for the best. Instead, drink something warm, add minerals, or rely on chamomile's pleasant effects. It's a simple habit, but it can turn that blurry-eyed stumble into a peaceful moment to start over. You will feel better and sleep better after this. Third, keep your feelings in check. It could be a sign. For some reason, you wake up at 4:12 a.m. and you're not just feeling sleepy. There's a weight, a hum, or an ache in your chest that you can't quite put your finger on. You might already be thinking about a tense event from yesterday or something you're afraid will happen tomorrow. Sense a pattern. You might not have thought about this, but your feelings could be the alarm clock that goes off in the dark. It's not just chance. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, the hours before dawn, from about 3 to 5 a.m., are linked to the lungs in a very interesting way. In TCM, the lungs are connected to feelings like grief, stress, and sadness as well. If you wake up in that window feeling sad or uneasy, it might not be a coincidence. Your body could be telling you to pay attention to what's going on below the surface. Let's look into that. TCM says that each organ is most active at a certain time of the day. The lungs are most active from 3 to 5 a.m. Practitioners say this is when the body gets rid of both air and emotional waste. It's kind of like a quiet cleaning crew for your soul. If you're still sad, angry, or stressed about something that happened a long time ago, that email or argument that you didn't send or settle might come to the surface when everything else is quiet. Scientists today don't quite map it that way, but they're pretty close. Studies show that stress and emotional overload make it hard to sleep. The problem is most noticeable in the morning, when your brain is still processing the day's events. Do you ever notice that bad things seem worse at night? That's your mind making what you ignored during the day sound worse. So, what do you do when you feel heavy and restless when you wake up? Don't just stay there and let it get worse. Take a look at yourself. Raise your legs a little, put a pillow behind you, and ask, what's on your mind? What am I holding on to that I can't let go? Take a deep breath and let your first thoughts come to you. Maybe it's a specific worry, like a deadline that's coming up like a storm. It could be a vague sadness that you haven't had time to feel. Take that notebook off of your nightstand. You should already have one there, right? Write down 3 things that come to mind. They can be anything. It's okay, whether it's a mess or not fully formed. I'm mad at Jen. I miss how things were before. Why am I even awake? Write it down so it's not in your head. It's not about solving it. It's about getting rid of it. If you're still watching this video and think these ideas are helpful, please let me know in the second comment below. Additionally, if you haven't already, please subscribe and activate the bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Let's move on. Put that together with a physical release now. Slow down and take 5 deep breaths. Take 4 deep breaths in through your nose. Hold for 1 beat, and then let out 6 deep breaths through your mouth. Imagine that the stress is leaving your body with each exhale, like steam rising from a cup of tea. You can say this to yourself out loud or in your head as you breathe. I release this for now. Very powerful, even though it's very small. You're not pretending that the feelings aren't there. You're just letting them go for the night. Putting a bookmark in a heavy book is like putting the story on hold for now. You can pick it up later if you need to. There is a lot of evidence to support this. Writing in a journal has been shown to reduce stress by letting go of racing thoughts. It's like giving your brain a filing cabinet instead of letting it handle everything at once. Psychologists call it externalizing cognition. One study from the University of Rochester found that writing about feelings for just 15 minutes a day made people less anxious and helped them sleep better over time. Your brain can tell that it's okay to relax with as little as a 3-line scribble in the dark. And those slow breaths change your body's response from fight or flight to rest and recover. This process lowers cortisol and makes your body feel calm again. We're not going to fix everything at 4 a.m. It's not like you're a superhero, and your brain is too foggy for big ideas anyway. It has to do with picking up the signal. If you feel heavy or restless when you wake up, don't push it away or fight it. Instead, lean in, name it, and let it go. You might just be giving your feelings a moment of your time during those quiet times. Giving them that could help you get back to rest. Try it the next time the clock strikes 3 and your heart is happy. You may be shocked at what you let go of and how much better you sleep. 4. Move slowly and give your body a break. You're awake again, 4:23 a.m. The clock's steady glow makes fun of you. Like a sailor having bad dreams, you've been lying there, flipping back and forth, making the sheets a royal mess. The more you try to force yourself to sleep, the more your body fights you. Every minute feels like an hour, and you're getting more and more angry. Why can't I just sleep? Keeps going through your mind. Your legs are shaking and your neck is stiff. Does this sound like a scene you've been in before? The trap is that staying on the bed and being restless only makes you fall deeper into the wakefulness hole. After 15 minutes of tossing and turning, your body is almost screaming for a reset. It doesn't need a full-on workout, just a little push to get rid of the stress and relax again. Here's a 1-minute sleep reboot that's so easy it almost feels like cheating. First, get rid of the idea that you have to stay still and flat. It's like trying to hold water in your hands when you're wired. You can't. Instead, slowly sit up. If that feels right, lean against the headboard or swing your legs over the side of the bed. Anything less than that will do. Start with your neck, as it's likely stiff from hours of terrible pillow wrestling. Slowly roll it over. Bring your chin to your chest, and then slowly move it to the right, letting your ear drift toward your shoulder. Take a deep breath in, and then roll to the left. Be very slow and do this a few times. Your shoulders will start to feel less tight after that. They've clenched those muscles like they're getting ready for a fight. But the fight is over now. Next, focus on your shoulders. They're probably hunched over near your ears, holding on to stress like it's their job. Imagine that you are trying to touch the ceiling as you lift them up. Then, let out a soft breath and let them fall down. Do it 3 or 4 times, and each time, take a deep breath in as you lift and let it out as you let go. The stress that's been building up in your back all day is like pressing a reset button. You might even hear a crack or pop. Don't worry, that's just your body saying thanks for paying attention. Let's move the blood around now. Get on your knees and move to the edge of the bed. Then, sit up straight and try a forward fold. Don't try to look like a yoga pro. Just hinge at the hips and let your hands fall to the floor or your knees. Stay there for a few seconds. Do not push it. It's like a long, stretchy sigh for your spine. This improves circulation, which can slow down after lying down for too long, and it makes your lower back feel less squished. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth while you're down there. You should feel your ribcage expand. Your nervous system gets a quiet message that says, "We're fine, no problems here." Last, get rid of the restlessness by shaking. Lift one leg at a time. Don't do anything crazy. Just jiggle it a little, like you're shaking water off your foot after swimming. For 10 seconds on each leg, let the twitching go away in your calves or thighs. It's silly, but it works. This helps them fall asleep even though their legs won't stay still. Plus, take it easy by slowly breathing in for 4 counts and out for 6 counts. This approach tells your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for relaxing, to take over from the adrenaline junkies that are keeping you awake. Are your feet or hands cold? This is another sign that your circulation is poor, which is a sneaky way to keep you from sleeping. When your limbs are cold, it's hard for your body to relax. If your feet are also cold, rub your hands together like you're starting a fire and then cup them over them for a few seconds. The friction quickly warms them up, and when they feel cozy, your brain tells you it's okay to fall asleep. Studies have shown that having warm hands and feet makes you fall asleep faster. This is because your body's core temperature drops a little when you're ready to sleep, and having warm limbs accelerates this process. If you're still watching this video and think these ideas are helpful, please let me know in the 3rd comment below. Additionally, if you haven't already, please subscribe and activate the bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Let's move on. 5. Use sound to calm your mind. The time is 3:58 a.m. and your brain thinks now is a great time to do a mental sprint. Did you lock the door? Thoughts keep going back and forth. When is that meeting tomorrow? What were you thinking when you said that stupid thing in 2019? And every time you try to quiet them down, the volume goes up. You can't fall asleep because you keep thinking too much. You're wide awake and can't stop. Sense a pattern? When your mind is racing like this, telling it to calm down doesn't work much better than telling a toddler to stay still when they're excited about something. But here's a secret weapon you can use from your nightstand. Sound. With the right sound, you can catch that wandering mind and bring it back to the present. No need to use willpower. Don't scroll through your phone. That's a trap that will make you feel good. Here are 3 sound shortcuts that will help you fall asleep faster than you can say insomnia. Pink noise comes first. You may have heard of white noise, which sounds like a TV left on a dead channel. Pink noise, on the other hand, is more relaxing and helps you sleep. As you drift off to sleep, listen to the steady patter of soft rain, the soft whoosh of wind through trees, or the steady crash of ocean waves. Unlike white noise, which blasts all frequencies at the same volume and can feel a bit harsh, pink noise lowers the higher frequencies, making a sound blanket that is deeper and more relaxing. How does it work? Scientists say that it works with your brain waves to move them toward the slower rhythms of deep sleep. Northwestern University researchers found in 2017 that pink noise not only helps people sleep better, but it can also help them remember things the next day. Set a small speaker or a downloaded track low enough for you to hear without being too loud. Then let it rain and feel your thoughts start to fade away. Perhaps you don't like pink noise or would prefer something with a little more direction. If so, try a short guided sleep meditation. No hour-long Zen marathons here, just 5 to 10 minutes at a time. The voice could sound like Morgan Freeman, leading you through slow breaths or a body scan. Feel your toes relax. Now your ankles, your calves. For adults, it's like a bedtime story. It works because it occupies your mind in a way that is dull enough to tire it out, but focused enough to stop the worry train. You don't need expensive apps because there are a lot of free ones on YouTube and podcasts. Choose one that doesn't have any sudden ads or loud intros, and make sure you test it first. Also, keep the volume low, almost to a whisper. You should let that voice pull you back to your pillow from your thoughts. Or, if you're really into words, get an audiobook that is read in a monotone. Now is not the time for exciting thrillers or epic fantasy with loud voices. Pick something dull but nice, like a book of essays about nature, a dry history of Victorian gardening, or maybe a geology lecture about sedimentary rocks. Think of it as auditory ambient. The trick is a steady, low-energy voice. The words hold on just long enough to keep your mind from going off track, but the lack of drama lets it drift. I once fell asleep in 10 minutes while listening to a guy talk about the life cycle of moss. I don't even like plants. Setting the volume to almost nothing and playing it on a device with a sleep timer will keep it from playing all night. There will be no loud changes or cliffhangers to wake you up. How does this sound stuff work? Patterns are very appealing to your brain. It's built to notice rhythms and repeat things. It's like a car stuck in high gear when it's racing. Sound shifts it to neutral and then backwards, which slows you down. Studies back this up. A review published in 2013 in Sleep Medicine found that regular, low-level sounds like pink noise or guided tracks make the nervous system less alert, which speeds up the time it takes to fall asleep. This isn't meant to drown out your thoughts. It's to give your mind a softer path to follow. So the next time your mind is racing at 4 a.m., don't scroll through your phone's doomsday app. Instead, turn on some music. Play some pink noise rain, a relaxing meditation, or a voiceover that is so boring that it would bore a coffee addict. Keep it calm, low-key, and free of drama. Your tired mind will fall asleep to it like a lullaby, and before you know it, you'll be back in dreamland and off the hamster wheel. So, there you have it. 5 powerful steps to turn those 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. wake-up calls into chances for peace, health, and maybe even some self-discovery. I hope this has helped you hear your mind and body in a new way. What is one thing you now know from this video to calm down? You could drink warm water with lemon. Do that gentle stretching routine, or even write down your feelings. Write down one thing you're looking forward to in the comments section below. Please let me know how it goes for you. You are welcome to leave a comment below if you liked the video. Furthermore, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more happiness tips. Good night, and I'll see you in the next one.